It was boring. Always very informative, Diana, but you know, if you just had a couple of funny parts, it would have been even better. Or, next time, consider having an interesting conclusion. You don't have to say 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for listening. That's boring. Leave a little twist at the end. Focus on the speech, not the person. Okay. Now, of course, when given the evaluation, it's 2 to 3 minutes plus or minus 30 seconds. Some clubs put this on their agenda and some clubs don't. I encourage that you put it on your agenda. Why? You should never assume that everybody knows. You have new members coming in all the time. Even someone asked me 2 or 3 months ago, table topics, wait a minute, we're running over on time. This person's been talking for a while. Diana, how much time is table topics? And I said, and I've been a member for years. It's good to just have it on that paper. I don't want to have to think sometimes. So it's really good to have it on the agenda. Remember that it's 2 to 3 minutes plus or minus 30 seconds. Don't ever speak for other people. Don't ever, ever, ever speak for other people. And this is something that I made a mistake when I was in the contest. When I was at the evaluation contest, the speaker that came, Lamont, oh my goodness, his name is, what did I do? Please help, Oscar. Oh, okay. When I was in the evaluation contest, I made a big mistake. I was lucky that I won. And I'll admit that to all of you. I was very lucky that I won. The only reason why I won was because the other person who would have won didn't have a conclusion. And we'll talk about that in a second, you know. So he came to me, Lamont, do you remember his last name, Vicki? Lamont, do you remember? Lamont. He was the speaker, he was blind, and he came and he was the judge from California, and he was our special guest speaker. And he said to me, he gave me an evaluation on my evaluation, and he said, you did one big no-no. You should not mention anybody else in your evaluation. You should only say what's your opinion. Don't ever say, oh, well, you know, I think all of us thought that da-da-da-da-da-da-da. No. Only, I think this, I love this, it would be better if, that's it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So that's something important for you to know when you give an evaluation. It's only your opinion. Somebody else can come up here and have a completely different opinion about the speech. Okay? All right. So, I already talked about focus on the speech, not the person. Be specific. This is, again, taking good notes, not using the little corners of the agenda. Be very specific, because you can stand up here and give, you know, criticize a speech, but you didn't give an example. An example would be better. I could say, well, you know, Oscar, fall forward, your hair falls forward. Okay, well, what if I didn't remember exactly the sentence he said in his speech? And he will come up and say, well, which part are you talking about, Diana? You shouldn't need to do that. You're evaluating somebody's speech. You need to make sure you write it down. So if you mention in an evaluation, give an example, okay? For the CC speakers, okay, the first CC speakers, you know, when you're a C1, C2, C3, don't rip them apart. There's nothing worse than when I hear someone giving a really harsh evaluation to someone, and I don't hear that in my club, but I've heard it before, where someone was just a C2, C3, and they said, oh, they've been here for 2 or 3 months, they can take it. And it really hurts their feelings afterwards. I look at their faces and I say, wow, you still need to go a little easy on these early CC speakers. And you'll know when you can give more feedbacks to these people, because their confidence will grow and you know that they can take it. But you need to be very careful of that, okay? But, of course, when you're an advanced speaker, you know, they should be able to handle it. Don't go easy on them. You know, I'm at the point now, somebody comes up to the front and they evaluate my speech and they always say, this was wonderful, Diana, that was wonderful. And I said, they're only saying that because I'm American. It was awful. I wrote the speech in 15 minutes. Right? Okay? I can deal with it. I've got a thick, tough skin. You know? Toastmasters, after we've been a member for a couple of years, we can handle it. Right, Nikki? Right, Jennifer? Yeah. Right, Jim? We can handle it. We want a good evaluation. Okay? So, some of you may say, okay, how many things should I say? Okay, for the early CCs, 1 or 2 areas for improvement. That's enough. C1, maybe just 1. Everybody listen to this. Maybe just 1. You did a good job today, Jason.
Yeah,
great. You did a good job today. Okay? But for advanced speakers, pay attention to this. Because we have a time limit, right? 2 to 3 minutes. I suggest 3 areas for improvement. You should already be a confident speaker. A good speaker. So generally speaking, you don't have to talk about all the wonderful things they did. You know, you hear them give speeches all the time for the past 2 or 3 years if they're an advanced speaker. Won't you focus on the areas that they need to improve? Or the same things that they're doing over and over and over again that they have to work on that they're not changing. We all have this. Mine is my humor issue. I'm working on it though. You guys laughed a couple of times. So I'm getting better. Okay. Please read this very carefully. Please read this very carefully. Again, let's read this together. Don't summarize their speech. We heard them. Amen. I don't think I need to explain that. Okay? Don't do that. I know that's a way to prove that you listened. I know you said, I really listened to your speech, so you get up there and you repeat the whole thing. Don't do it. Because it's boring for us to listen to it. Okay? So, one thing that you can say is the sandwich approach. I think a lot of you have heard of this. Have you heard of the sandwich approach?
Yeah.
Okay? Positive needs improvement, positive. People remember the first thing you say and the last thing you say. And they also remember something negative that you say, which is stuck in the middle, but that's okay. They at least, they smile when they first start listening to you, and then they'll smile once you're done. They won't hate you forever. So sandwich approach is nice. Sandwich approach is nice. So if you're one of those people where you know you really don't feel comfortable giving an evaluation, try this out. Just 1 needs for improvement, okay? Something positive to say, 1 needs improvement, 1 positive, okay? Notice I didn't put negative here. I didn't put negative here. Not everything has to be negative, okay? Oh, I gotta tell you this story. And I've said it to so many people, so you're gonna say, Dinah says this all the time, but I have to share this story again. The fall conference last year, one of the top 10 evaluators stood up and said, he was given an evaluation from the TED speaker, of course, and he said, your accent was so strong, I could barely understand a lot of your speech. I was in shock. Now, the person spoke beautiful English, but who cares? He ruined the test speaker's confidence. The test speaker could have been a C3. He could have been an A24. He could have been anything. Who knows? He had the courage to get up on the stage in front of hundreds of people and give a speech. And one of the evaluators made it to the top 10, and that was one of the things he said about his speech.